Okay, it's just after 6 o'clock, so I'd like to be able to begin this public board meeting for the PNE. First of all, I just want to welcome you all to the meeting tonight, and we respectfully acknowledge that the PNE is grateful to operate from the unceded traditional ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. And since we have a change in the board chair since the last meeting, I'd like to introduce myself as the new PNE Board Chair, and I'm Vancouver City Councillor Mike Klassen, and I welcome all of you here to be here tonight in the gallery and with us tonight. The speakers list is now closed as per our procedures posted on the PNE's website. There are 3 items on the agenda and 2 speakers signed up. As chairperson, I'll call you by first and last name when it is your turn to speak. Each speaker will have a maximum of 5 minutes to speak. We have a timer that is located on the screen when your 5 minutes are up. The timer will sound, and then you must conclude your comments at that time. The Board of Directors may ask you questions to gain a greater understanding and clarity of your presentation. If so, the questions and answers have a combined time limit of 5 minutes. Each item will start with a report from the PNE staff, and the Board of Directors may have questions for staff as well, either after staff report or after speakers or both. We ask that everyone follow the code of conduct that we posted on the PNE website, speak or present any materials in a manner that is respectful of all persons, use courteous or parliamentary language, speak only on the matter under the consideration by the board. And some final housekeeping items. Washrooms are located just across the entrance you came in, just over here. And we also ask that everyone in attendance be respectful of the proceedings and to refrain from activities that would disrupt the meeting. And finally, I'd like to let you all know that this meeting is being streamed live on the PNE's YouTube channel. So thank you, and now we will now move to the formal meeting. There we go. Got it. Okay, so the first item is, first of all, is to adopt the agenda. Can I have a motion from the Board of Directors to Rachel and a seconder, please? Any discussion, changes? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, that carries. Thanks very much. Okay, the next item is number 2, staff reports to the... Okay.
It's not really.
Okay, thanks very much for raising that, and we'll bring that item a little bit later in the meeting. Okay, so we'll go on to the next item on the agenda. This is the staff report on the PNE master plan update.
Okay, Ming's going to deliver that.
Okay, good, thank you. On the site improvements and also the tree management. So first, the amphitheater project update. So here's a list of the major tasks we have hit in the last several months. So up until January 2025, we are working on the footings and the foundations of the project. For the upcoming major milestones, we are going to continue to work on the foundation until the spring 2025, and we'll move on to the structure part of the project, the roof, the sun wall in the spring, summertime, and then we'll continue to the fall and the winter for the seating, the ancillary spaces. And then coming spring 2026, we'll do the final commissioning and the completion of the project. Here are some photos that we took from the site as of this month to reflect the progress of the project. And I'm also excited to share with the board and our public members that we have recently been awarded 2 design awards for this project. Both awards are internationally recognized, renowned designer awards that recognize the innovation and the design excellence in architect, interior design, and urban planning. So it's actually an honor for us to receive those awards. I think that's the end of my update for the amphitheater project. So now I'm going to move on to the Hastings Park site improvement update. Firstly, I want to start by giving some update in the sanctuary. So throughout the year 2024, we have done a lot of work in the invasive species remediation and the blackberry overgrowth cleanup. We also have hydro-seeded the area to create grass zones and added the seating area using the trees, the fallen trees, to provide circular economy opportunity as well. We also have worked with the Hastings Park Conservancy to plant a ceremonial dogwood tree to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the sanctuary in the summer 2024. Here are some before-after pictures of the areas we work on. As you can all see, we have made a lot of improvement in revitalizing the area around the sanctuary. Moving on to give an overall update on the invasive species removal update. We have been working on the different zones on this map. So the zone 1, 2, 3, and 5 are the zones that we have been working on. And the zone 1 and 2 was converted to the seating area in the lower pond. So zone 6 is part of the stormwater project that I will update everyone in the next slide. And going forward, our plan will focus on zone 4, 5, 8, 9 during this spring, and we'll move on to zone 10 to 15 in the fall of this year. In working with our consulting company, we have developed a plan to control the stormwater runoff in the sanctuary area as well. We have listed work that is in design and will start implementation in the next few months. So by doing this, I think we have 4 main goals. Number 1 is to recreate habitat for the natural life. And the second is for the stormwater management. This is not only to reduce the water runoff, to reduce the loading issue to our city storm sewer pipe, but also to redirect the water to the sanctuary during the drier months especially. We will also establish the wetland that is going to become a key area to enhance our ecosystem in the pond area as well. At the end, we'll choose some native plants to basically, make a diverse, native species in our sanctuary area as well. So we have finished the preparation of the site. In 2024, we are actually working on the earthworks in recent weeks. We should be able to finish that in spring 2025, and we're going to move forward with the landscape design, after the earthwork is done. So here are some photos to basically reflect the work we have done so far on the preparation of the site. And we can see from a high level some of the works we have done in recent days. The other update I want to provide to the team here is we have also replaced a significant amount of tiles in the Italian garden area. So the Italian garden was first established in 2000, so it's like 25 years old. In recent months, we have identified some leaking issues through the tiles in that area. This is a great collaboration opportunity we had with the park board, who provided funding for us to implement some remediation of the area. We added the waterproofing to the area. We also chose the Italian-themed tiles to replace the whole area. Here are some before-after pictures, along with the new installation in that area. Moving on, I want to also provide some other general site improvement work that our team has been doing in the last, 7 months since our last board meeting. The first one is the sanctuary reed removal. It's very clear reflection in those before and after pictures, the work that we have done to enhance the environment in the sanctuary. We have also spent time and effort to pressure wash the boardwalk to provide, better walking conditions to our community members. Just recently, in January this month, we have added a new diversion systems in the sanctuary area as well. This is another one to reflect our effort to, save some of the species on site. This is one example. We saved like a pear tree that was, inclining, and we did some work to save this tree. For some of the dead trees, we also spent some time and effort to prune the tree so the tree can become like a wildlife tree for the different species to nest on. And lastly, in order to reduce our tripping hazard across the site, we have started working on some of the tripping hazard we identified before to make improvement to overall site accessibility. Regarding tree management, here is a timeline we shared with the board, the public in the last board meeting. We have added another column on the right to reflect the progress we have made since the last meeting. So overall, we are still hitting some of the major milestones of the work. We engaged, the consultant to work on the phase 2 of the tree management plan. We're also transitioning to an annual inventory management system to have an accurate record of the removal and the replanting of the trees. More update is given in the next slide. As part of our tree inventory survey update, we are still working on part of the sanctuary and a new Thunderbolt right area to make sure we add those new trees to our whole inventory. So far, we have identified 17,032 trees with their location, the GPS coordinates. And in the next phase, we'll continue to work with a consultant to add more attributes to those trees, like the species, the size, the health condition survey. So we are continuing our work to develop the tree management plan in collaboration with our consultants to start really like 2 days from today. We want to finish that by end of fall. In the meantime, we are also, making, part of the tree management plan, usable for us when we plant new trees, especially in the Thunderbolt right area, to add new trees to our site. And in the fall of 2025, when we have the complete set of the tree management plan, that will guide us to further expand our tree management activities across the whole site. I think that's the end of my presentation. Now I will welcome some questions.
Thanks very much, Ming. Do the directors have any questions? I see Steve. Why don't you go ahead, please?
Thanks for that update. Just a question around the amphitheater. Looking at the timelines, I see a really nice potential synergy anyways with the roof construction starting in the summer and fall. Has staff thought about how we integrate fair activities and potential viewing angles? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in that construction site and traffic flows of people.
Yeah, so in terms of the construction, we have included like a time lapse video for the whole construction site, so we can make that available to be integrated with our fair activities and in this construction process. In terms of the finished product, in the future, the amphitheater is going to be an important part of the fair once it's open. And we have, a lot of, different kind of level of, activities that we can allow, our guests to be in the amphitheater to enjoy the concert. We have the regular seating. We have different kind of VIP seating. We have a lot of, the long area, the public area. I'm sure it's going to be a great opportunity that we can provide to our public in the future to enjoy a fair. Yeah.
And we have talked about the potentially of a viewing microphone. Sorry about that. We have talked about the possibility of building in potentially a view corridor from the fair footprint so that guests can see kind of what is going on behind the curtain, as long as we can do that in a safe way.
Thanks very much. Other question? Raj? Mike, I think your
You've
mic.
categorized 1,732 trees. Is that's not all the trees on the site, or are
We are
the vast majority?
Sorry, yeah, it's the majority of the trees. We're still missing some inventory in particular the sanctuary area, and also we planted 70 or more than 70 trees in the new right area, our Thunderbolt, which opened last summer. So we still need to add those trees into our inventory.
But we have the majority of our
Yeah.
trees now cataloged.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raj. Rachel?
Can you tell us what a French drain is?
Yeah, so French drain is basically like a kind of it's not a natural one, but it's a drainage like canal that surface kind of base like a trench, and not like a big trench, but to direct the water, to the basically based on the gradient to the lower area of the land surface. Yeah.
Yeah, Maury?
Thank you. I probably should know this. How many staff do we have permanently kind of working in this part of your department?
In terms of the landscaping,
Yeah.
horticulture.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
yeah, we have 5 full-time staff throughout the year, but we have another maybe 7 or 8 part-time, staff, which we supplement this team during the busy season, like the spring and the fall time of the year. Yeah.
Maury? Okay. And I'm a big fan, as someone who's done a lot of landscaping, of French drains. Good job on that one. Okay.
The French drain allows us to keep the lower pond fuller than it has been in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much, Ming. So now we're on to the FIFA Fan Festival. Oh, sorry. We have a speaker on this item. Yeah, is Darcy Swinton here? Hi, Darcy. Can you come up to the podium here? Way up here, yeah. I guess it's so everybody can see you.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I was speaking to something different, but it's close enough, I guess. I've been over the whole presentation. My name's Darcy Swinton. I've lived in the neighborhood for about 40 years or more. My children live here, my grandchildren live here. And I am the secretary of the Hastings Park Conservancy for many years now. The PNE presentation today outlines changes to the multi-party operation policy with regards to Hastings Park. Wondering how will this motion to City Hall affect Hastings Park and the master plan? Is the motion put forward today to change the existing MPOP the only changes going forward to City Council for approval, or are there others not publicly mentioned so far? How will these changes impact the master plan? Will they affect community and public access to current and future green park spaces in Hastings Park? What's happening with the daylighted stream, its funding, implementation, timeline for completion, etc.? Am I talking too close to it or something?
I'm just wondering whether or not you're actually speaking to a topic that comes up later.
I was, and that's what I asked to speak to, but somehow I wound up here.
So I'm just wondering.
Should I wait and do it all again? I only have one sentence left. What is the process for changes to the MPOP, and how can the public input and follow progress? And the Hastings Park Conservancy would appreciate some clarification on all this.
Oh, no, thank you. Thanks very much. Okay. Okay. I guess we don't, well, this, because it wasn't on topic here, I'm wondering if we might delay any kind of questions that the board might have until after. Is that okay? All right, we'll do that then. Okay, then we'll move on to item 2.2, the FIFA Fan Festival update. Sean is here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shauna Wilton. I'm the VP of Event Operations for the PNE, and I also serve as the PNE lead for FanFest organization. So in that capacity, I am part of a broader team led by the City of Vancouver, who forms the host committee and is responsible for delivering FanFest as part of FIFA World Cup 2026. And the PNE is considered a delivery partner with the city to that end. So this week in particular is an important week, and so I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of where we stand in the process so far. Here's sort of some key dates and metrics as an overview of where the event stands and where we're going. So starting in June of 2024, the City of Vancouver selected the PNE as the site for the official FanFest. As Vancouver is one of the 16 cities that are hosting matches, that makes us one of 16 FanFest sites across the entire event. So while we will be the official FanFest site for Vancouver, there will be 16 others across 3 different countries as part of holding World Cup. As of Monday, we did hit the planning milestone of 500 days to go until the start of the FIFA World Cup. And the 1 year to go mark will hit in June of this summer, so it is coming up quick. A very key planning milestone as this event starts to take shape will be the match draw, and that will be where we learn who will be playing who when, including for the Vancouver matches. And that will happen in December 2025, and that provides more opportunity to refine the event plan as we move along. 7 of the matches have already been announced as being held in Vancouver, and those matches take place between June 13th and July 7th. And the whole run of FIFA World Cup is from June 11th to July 19th, 2026. So the vision for the Fan Fest, and really for all Fan Fests, is to be the place to be for all local and international fans to get a taste of the FIFA World Cup experience. Not everybody goes to the games. People need another opportunity to kind of be part of the experience that doesn't involve getting into the stadium to see a game. Specific to us will be that it will be very uniquely Vancouver and British Columbia, and you will see that activations and programming as they take shape will really form to give people an opportunity to understand what Vancouver and BC is all about. It's a celebration of the beautiful game, as it's called. It's a celebration of food, music, and fun. And being at the PNE strategically takes advantage of our new amphitheater, which you just saw an update on. And that project was already underway prior to us being selected as the FanFest site, but obviously will be a key component of FanFest. So where we are so far in the process for FanFest, over the past year, obviously being selected as the site was a very key piece for our component of the event. More recently, Brand Live, who is a local and well-respected event producer, has recently been brought on board to plan, organize, and help run the event. We also have hosted several site visits with both officials from FIFA, staff from the host city committee, and different commercial partners and other proponents during fair and other times so that they could have an opportunity to familiarize themselves with the PNE site and see really how the site functions during high attendance events like fair. So as we move into 2025, really now is the time that the planning is going to begin in earnest. As I said, the key milestone of 500 days being this week is quite key. That 1 year mark will come in June, and December is really the time that things will start to really refine. That in particular will help inform when the broadcast times will be, which will have quite a clear influence on what the hours of operation will be and that sort of thing. So there is no clarity at this point in time in terms of what exactly days will be operating and exactly hours. So more to come on that as the plans progress. As part of the planning process, the host committee is planning on engaging with residents and businesses to ensure there's proactive communication about plans and to get feedback on any concerns as those plans start to take shape. And some of the public outreach actually started this week with the 500-day mark. There's newsletters that are being produced. There's Instagram accounts that you can start following for information, and that will be coming out on a regular basis as this process continues. So until we're a bit further in the planning process, that actually concludes my presentation for today, but I'm happy to take any questions that anyone has. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Are there any questions from the board?
What's the Instagram handle?
That's a great question. I think it's like at FWC Vancouver. I'll double check.
Maureen?
I see the last bullet point on to date, the end's cut off. Does that say that best practices from other events are being used? What is, it says during 2020 something and then.
Oh, no, that was that we provided opportunities to come on site during 2024.
Oh,
Sorry
I
about
see.
that.
So my question then would be, are there best practices from other events or other FIFA hosts that we've been able to leverage well and apply to kind of how all this is being organized? Any kind of key highlights that sort of stand out for you that you can share?
Yeah, FIFA definitely provides a number of guidance documents in terms of what has happened at previous FanFests to think about flow of guests or number of guests to anticipate depending on what matches are being played when, what is average attendance per day. There's also a lot of guidance in terms of entertainment levels, stage configurations, all of that sort of thing. So it's not an event that kind of starts from scratch. And then we're kind of the other side of that to provide our own PNE best practices in terms of how this site performs the best, what we've learned from doing concerts and fair and different things over the years. So it's kind of a nice merging of all of those perspectives coming together.
Sorry. Okay, so seeing no other questions about this, we'll move on to discussion of community programs.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to introduce to the Board of Directors our new Community Relations Manager, Anna Kelfa, who has joined us at the back in the purple. She joined us in June and has been facilitating the community programs since that day. So welcome, Anna. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit and giving you an update of what we accomplished in 2024 as it relates to our ticket donation program, our community grant program, our community collaboration, our Celebration Light Up program that we launched in 2023, and our park stewardship that we have worked on. To begin with, we have two primary programs that we use within the community to ensure that there is access to fair, to playland, to Fright Nights for community groups and families that could not otherwise afford. Those are the Casey's Kids Ticket Program, and you'll see another one on another slide, our Disadvantaged Youth Ticket Program, where we give community groups have the opportunity to apply for a lump sum of tickets that they can disperse through their associations and through their groups to ensure that they can enjoy our events and attractions. The other program that we offer is the opportunity for charities, not-for-profits, and small community groups to apply for tickets to use for fundraising in their associations to ensure that their programs can thrive and they can deliver the return and the opportunities for their members and for their communities. I mentioned the Youth Accessibility Program that we run with TD Bank. That is a two-part program. That is both, we bring out over 4,000 youth to the fair, to Fright Nights, to Winter Fair, to Playland. In addition to, we run a job skills program for them through the spring, showcasing all of the different opportunities, both from careers, from trades, from Playland, from the attraction groups, from the events group, all of the opportunities that they could look to for a career and the skills that they would require to do those jobs. And then the last donation program or the recognition program that we run is our neighborhood ticket program. We currently have 6,900 households who we deliver tickets to both fair and winter fair, and we run a discount program for Playland for people to come to Playland and enjoy it at their leisure during that time frame. So we run that program 3 times a year. One important note on that particular program in 2025, we have noticed a significant uptake on online pickup for the neighborhood ticket program. So we will be doing where we used to do 3 different notifications. We'll be doing 1 notification and moving primarily to an online distribution for this program for our neighborhood. In regards to grants and collaboration programs, we have one particular grant program that we run, which is called the Community Grant Program. Every day in Playland, on one day, we take $10 from every person who comes into Playland, and we put it towards the Community Grant Fund, and every year we give away $10,000 of grants that range anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 to local groups that are either doing events or projects on our site, or they might be doing it in their local areas. And we usually will disperse anywhere from 5 to 7 grants under that program. The second program that we're very happy and excited about that we launched, we just finished our 2nd year, is with the Hastings Park Conservancy on their education initiative around the sanctuary. We have a 3-year agreement where we give $8,000 per year for that particular grant. And you will see when we present our 2025 business plan that we are going to be working with local community leaders on a potential youth leadership partnership for an additional $5,000 that we will be putting in that collaboration for that. So we're continuing to grow our grants and collaboration to ensure that the work that we're doing is having impact in the local area. The other area that we wanted to ensure that we demonstrated community support was with our Celebration Light Up program. In 2024, we celebrated over 40 different groups by lighting up the Pacific Coliseum at any part of the month to celebrate their association, their group, their community throughout the year. From a park stewardship perspective, we have continued to do improvements around the parks and the cultural gardens. We have a new partnership agreement with the Japanese Canadians Hastings Park Interpretive Centre, where they have started to do their build-out of the interpretive centre in the north side of the barns. We have supported multiple walking tours with them, as well as the Nakai Museum, with both local and international visitors, talking about the Japanese internment on the site. We have distributed an RFP with the City of Vancouver for our Indigenous art program with the amphitheater. More information will come in the next board meeting. We've just finalized final selections and are working with designs with those artists. There will be 3 pieces of art that are being installed into the amphitheater, recognizing each of our First Nations within the amphitheater. And we are participating with the FIFA Community Benefits Committee program in developing community benefits initiatives around social procurement and volunteerism, etc. We did have a particular question we did have one question that came from the neighbor in regards to as we continue to put more economic using the site as for more economic purposes, how are we going to continue to ensure that the park is left open for neighbors and residents? Our response to that particular question is that our mandate is to make best use of the space and ensure that we can reinvest all of our surplus back into the site. So we evaluate each and every opportunity to ensure that it has the least amount of impact, but also the best amount of result in ensuring that we can deliver on the mandate to reinvest back into the site. We do evaluate every single opportunity, and every event is unique, and the PNE will continue to make sure that we have a customized approach to each particular case. Some of the things that we do to ensure that we mitigate the amount of closed time is we do a zoned, phased-in approach to all large setups. There is currently only one time of the year where the full site is closed down, and that is during the PNE Fair, and we do zone that particular event in. We do set up the fence lines to allow access to key areas during non-operational hours as best as we can. And we do the fence lines and the phased-in approaches to ensure that it's both an event safety purposes, but also for neighbor safety when they're walking through the parks. We also communicate changes to the access of the site through our website and through the community newsletter. So when we're doing the phased-in approach, we first review the phased-in approach with our community advisory group, and then we publish it in our newsletter and on our website. And during the PNE Fair specifically, we also provide a neighborhood access pass where neighbors can apply for an access pass to maintain their normal, regular routines of walking through the site, whether it be to commute through the site or to take a walk through the site. They can apply for a pass, and then they are allowed to use that pass through the fair. The next topic that I have to present to you, which does have, it's for information, and there is an approval request on that, and that is for the PNE advisory groups and councils. You may recall last May I did present to you an analysis of each of the 3 primary groups that the PNE manages on site, one being our community advisory group, which is an active 9-member, currently a 9-member community advisory group that we vet and talk about different operational issues, event impacts. We debrief and talk about programming for each of the events and attractions. And then we have a neighborhood focus group that has not been run since 2019, and we have a youth council that has not been run since 2019, and we are looking to continue to reimagine that. I will do one correction as it relates to the May 23rd presentation. In there, I said that the Community Advisory Group was as part of the bylaws. The Community Advisory Group is not part of the bylaws. The Community Advisory Group is part of our multi-party operating agreement, which is why today we have a request for approval to move forward with the new format for the Community Advisory Group. So in May, we recommended that there was two particular categories that were missing from our community advisory group. Number one was a youth representation. The second was a diversity, equity, and inclusion representation. We also wanted to ensure that we had synergy between the neighborhood focus group and the community advisory group, so that the dialogue that happened at neighborhood focus group continued at the community advisory group, so that we could move projects and requests forward. We also talked about the three different neighborhood focus groups that we wanted to focus on, which would be park stewardship, event impacts, and community impact and programs. And then we also said that we wanted we advised that we meet 5 times a year, April, June, September, November, January, and that neighborhood focus groups would meet 3 times a year. This was the structure that we put forward, where we have the following categories are currently, with the exception of youth and DEI, are currently outlined in our multi-party operating agreement. And then we have the whole purpose of the review is to ensure that we have the subject matter expertise of each of these categories represented on the community advisory group. And we've identified where we would be looking specifically for subject matter expertise on the community advisory group, and where we would have neighborhood representation, and where we would have specific representation such as youth representation, or in specifically as it relates to park care and park stewardship and our work with the Hastings Conservancy, we would have a representative from there. And as it relates to the economics, a request to working with the East Village BIA Executive Director, as we do a lot of work with them on our day-to-day. So I've identified a transition plan for the Community Advisory Group. So that's in 2025. We'll ensure that there's a full transition and onboarding of the new Community Advisory Group structure. However, we do want to make sure that there's continuity from the current Community Advisory Group. So we would only be looking to appoint 5 new members, so that we would have 5 carryover. 4 of those members will be based on subject matter expertise and will be focusing on sport and recreation, community impact, cultural events and festivals, park stewardship being the Hastings Conservancy. And then we are looking to change the number of times that we meet to 4 times per year, because we felt that with the onboarding of the neighborhood focus groups meeting twice a year, that we felt that there was continuous dialogue and synergy happening between those two. So for the Community Advisory Group, we would be meeting online in June and December, and we'd be meeting 2 times in person in April and October. And the first meeting in 2025 would be the full 2024 Community Advisory Group with the full incoming Community Advisory Group. Applications are typically put out in October, but we held them for the purpose that we do need your approval to move forward with the new structure. That's going to be outlined in the next slide. So we will be posting applications on February 3rd. And then we will, through February, we will be recruiting applications for this. We will be doing interviews in March and solidifying the new Community Advisory Group in the end of March for our first meeting in April. So in the current multi-party operating agreement, the purpose of CAG is to provide constructive and input and feedback on the PNE staff regarding items such as on-site programming, implementation aspects of the PNE Hastings Park Master Plan, and operational aspects that affect the local community, city, or region. And what we're asking for it to be changed to is the purpose of CAG is to provide the expertise, recommendations, insights, and feedback in PNE events and programming, participatory events and engagement, PNE community engagement strategy and implementation plans, Hastings Park PNE master plan, operational aspects that affect the local community, city, or region, and community communication with Hastings, Sunrise, Metro Vancouver, and British Columbia. As an advisory group, this group decision-making is outside the scope. It is an advisory group for the PNE. In addition, the revisions to the multi-party operating agreement that we're requesting is that the PNE and the City of Vancouver have been working collaboratively to update the 2015 MPOP. And there is a current draft that is in review, but we need to be able to move forward with our new community advisory group in advance, so we're asking for approval to move forward with the following bullets. Refine community advisory group purpose, as I just outlined from the previous slide. We would like to increase the community advisory group from 8 to 10 members to reflect the importance of youth representation and diversity. We would like to change the term from 1-year term with a maximum of 5 consecutive terms to a 2-year term with an unlimited number of terms. And then that we would do, and that it would be a 2-year term for all new members, and we would have a 1-year term on current CAG members. And then we would change the number of times community advisory groups from 6 to 4 times a year. We would change the term from September to August to align it to our fiscal year, April to March. So right now, the term is supposed to go September to August, which doesn't align with our business planning process. So we would be moving it to an April to March. And then change the locations of meeting. It specifically says in the multi-party operating agreement that it has to happen on Hastings Park, and we're requesting that it says that it could also include online meetings. So there is, we're requesting the motion be moved to propose the proposed changes to both the purpose and structure of the PNE Community Advisory Group be approved by the PNE Board of Directors in advance of the multi-party operating policy update be approved. With that, I will stop.
Thanks very much, Karen. Thank you for the presentation. Board members, are there any questions from you regarding this presentation? Steve, sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, Steve, sorry, go ahead. I'll wait.
Yeah, thanks for that. Just a question, I may have missed it. Can you comment on what's the selection process and who owns that decision-making?
That's a great question. So currently, we do applications. The applications come into the community relations team, and we select currently based on the resumes or the applications. We are putting an interview process in this with this new structure, and then that recommendation goes to the executive team for approval, and the City of Vancouver has to. No, the City of Vancouver does not have to sign off. It's the executive that signs off.
Thanks very much. Maury.
Thank you. Very pedantic question. Any reason that they're even numbers as opposed to odd numbers? Most boards and committees tend to be odd numbered, but
No.
no? Okay.
Nope.
No advantage, no disadvantage.
No, they're not voting.
Right?
So,
Yeah, I know there's no decision making,
yeah,
but
I think it was just the landing of the categories that were there.
gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any other comments or questions? All right, thank you very much. So we have a motion on the floor here. I would be looking for a mover, seconder, and then to see if there's any discussion on the motion itself. So can I have a mover on the motion that is on the screen above there? Raj, and a seconder? Maury, okay. Any discussion, or and should we just read this aloud just for the purposes of the record? Raj, can you read it for us, please?
Move that the proposed changes to both purpose and structure of the PNE Community Advisory Committee be approved by the PNE Board of Directors in advance of the multi-party operating policy update approval.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, we've had a pretty good presentation about this, but any other sort of further comments or questions? Maury?
I just, the presentation seems very logical to me. I'm just wondering, are there any downsides of making these changes? Because they all seem very appropriate, but is there any reason that we shouldn't do this?
Karen, do you want to answer that?
I don't see any downside. What we're trying to do is continue to get more dialogue in the subject matter expertise that was originally outlined in the multi-party operating by being very focused on those very specific categories. So I think it's only going to actually help and build the mandate of what community advisory.
That's the way I was reading it too, so thank you, appreciate that.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, so the motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously. Thanks very much.
Speaker on this topic.
Okay, right, we do have a speaker. Maria Mussenden, can you please come up to the podium? Thanks, Marie. You have 5 minutes.
Let's see.
Good evening, Board. My name is Maria Mussenden. I have lived in the neighborhood for 35 years. My husband's family has lived, well, the family home is over 100 years. So we've been in this area for a very long time. Anyways, I'm going to start off with the PNE Board failing to provide to PNE Board meetings failing to provide comprehensive and follow-up information, coupled with the Board's non-responsive manner, which doesn't apply this meeting, undermines transparency and accountability at public board meetings. And adversely affects public input at these public board meetings because we're not informed. You don't have all the information up here. And another thing, so part of what's not up here is that in June 2024, the PNE went to council to have the amphitheater budget increased to $137.5 million. Failure to hold required public board meetings. The board only held one public meeting in 2024, violating the PNE bylaw that requires 2 per calendar year. The Toronto Dominion contributed to the sanctuary improvements. The PNE should use its own resources to revise the MPOP and not use taxpayer dollars when seeking the city help in revision. After all, the PNE is supposed to be financially self-sufficient. Okay, so I will answer Director Murray's question. So the downside of what was proposed is that you are taking part of the mandate out of the community advisory, which is part of the HP governance, which was implemented by the city, and putting it into a group that is implemented by the PNE. Well, actually, it should be done as committees of the advisory of the CAG. It shouldn't be taken out of the CAG. And then there should be committees, and then there should be neighbors or whoever wants to participate. There should be CAG members in those committees, and then open it to neighbors also. But it should not be taken out of the CAG, not out of governance. Okay, so I have the CAG terms here. I have X's on all of them. The PNE staff have not been adhering to them. This is very, very serious. This is not mentioned. Not mentioned is that the PNE already implemented changes to the CAG without council approval. It now has 10 members when it says 8. And also, too, members give their opinion when they're supposed to give, they represent their organization and bring this to the group. And then take it back and bring it back, and this is supposed to be documented in the minutes, and it's not. And I have much more here to say, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in 5 minutes. But anyways, so, okay. So the correct name is HP PNE Advisory Group, not the PNE Group. Okay, so I also wanted to mention that there's false claims on the structure, the membership structure. Staff wrongly asserts the need for rigid membership structures. The terms of reference already allow for flexibility in representation per MPOP. The membership represents, per the MPOP, quote, the membership represents diverse backgrounds, including geographical, generational, cultural diversity, and includes, and not limited, representation from the following areas, unquote. And it lists suggestions of expertise from local, city, and wide regional areas, contrary to what you've been told here. And also, too, even though this board has approved this, it needs to be approved by council before you implement it, contrary to what staff has told you here. And I really encourage this board to have a second look at this, because this CAG is a means for public input, according to governance. And I had so much more to say, and I wish the board does their duty in public process. I find the board doesn't do their duty in public process. And please do your duty, board, because I find the PNE staff is not. Please, I beg you.
Thank you for coming to speak, Maria. Okay. That's the end of our speakers list. Are there any questions from the board members for the speaker? Seeing none, okay. Very good. All right, so that concludes the public realm portion of the meeting. And I'll now, unless there's any other items of new business, I will ask for somebody to move to adjourn this meeting. Rachel, and seconded.
Maria, we can do that offline once the meeting's done. We can do that offline once the meeting is closed. We'll stay by to talk to you about it.
Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that carries. So the meeting, public meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much for coming tonight.